Hey guys, welcome to Just De Novo. At this juncture, I believe most of us will know that the US has been targeting on the Chinese semiconductor and chip industries. But what are they about? We have done some research and summarized as follows. Firstly, all chip design companies, for example, Huawei, across the world need to have a software called EDA for designing. It is important to consider the significance of US-based semiconductor firms here, as most of the companies which are capable of providing such chip design services are mainly dominated by the 4 US-based companies, which include Synopsys Inc., SNPS, Candace Design Systems Inc., CDNS, and ANSYS Inc., ANSS, and Mentor Graphics. The first 3 companies are listed in the US Nasdaq. According to the S2C data, these 4 companies control about 90% of the world market. Therefore, if you would like to start your own business in this industry, the best outcome you can get is to be acquired by one of them instead of organic growth. Given that the US EDA designing companies are no longer providing the licensing to any of the Chinese companies, therefore Chinese companies which include Huawei may face practical difficulties moving forward as chip design has been playing a significant role in their business model. However, the only good thing for Huawei is that the license which Huawei bought previously has yet expired, such that Huawei, through its chip design company, HiSilicon, would still be able to utilize such a license in designing the current chips. Although in the short term, Huawei can still design the chips, but the next question would be, someone is needed to produce the chips for Huawei. Now, the world's largest chip manufacturer, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, is a producer of Huawei's 5 and 7 nanometers chips, which are used in Huawei's high-end models. However, since TSMC is also using the EDA products from US companies, if TSMC continues to supply the produced chips to Huawei, it's speculated that the US government might impose sanctions towards TSMC. Apart from TSMC, one of the best chip manufacturing companies within China would be Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corporation, SMIC, a public listed company on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. However, the best product it has is the 28 nanometer chips. Even though it's able to produce 14 nanometer chips, the process is not stable and far from mass production. So, China's state-backed funds pumped USD 2.25 billion into SMIC in May 2020 in order to encourage SMIC to speed up the mass production of the 14 nanometer chips. In the worst case scenario, if China is completely blocked by the US, then Huawei can only use the 14 nanometer chips made by SMIC for the time being, and the consequences would be mobile performance would fall back like a couple years ago. To deal with this difficult situation, SMIC has planned to skip the 10 nanometer chips and research the 7 nanometer chips directly. To do so, SMIC requires a more advanced EUV lithography machine to produce it. However, there's only one company in the world that's able to supply this lithography machine, i.e., ASML from the Netherlands. While ASML has the intention to sell the machine to SMIC, it has been delayed since April 2019 as the US government has made significant influence to the Netherlands government so that ASML's export license is not approved. Since Huawei has been sourcing the machine from overseas, many people might not know that China has its own EUV lithography machine manufacturer called Shanghai Microelectronics SM. Although SM is well regarded as China's most advanced company in its EUV machine industry, the best technology it has at present is the 19 nanometer chip producing machine. While the trade war is still unresolved, it was reported that Huawei has built up about a 2-year reserve of chips in the storage. If that's the case, we will expect no significant financial impact or growth in the next 2 years. Is the imposition of trade restrictions by the US towards Chinese semiconductor and chip industries indirectly giving rise to the growth of China's tech companies? It is worthwhile to revisit this again. The above-mentioned stocks and ETFs can be purchased from any brokers that trade from the open US and Hong Kong stock markets. If you do follow us earlier, we generally trade these US and Hong Kong markets using Tiger Brokers. Lastly, do not forget to subscribe to Just a Novo if you find the finance series interesting. Thank you!